But all this went out the window because it's in the Middle East. They have a contract there. They can't put on a guy you've never heard of against Khamzat and against Volkanovski or Makhachev. They have to fill contractually. They have to fill it with big fights. That's why you got these big dogs on 10 days notice, and that's why those boys got paid.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we were talking about Magomedov, the guy who fought earlier today.
With one eye, the pirate.
One eye. Yeah. It seems impossible that he would get sanctioned in the States.
Yeah, they can't.
There's no way.
No way.
So over there, they just let him.
He's just going to run the fucking Middle East. If you want to fight him, you have to come to the Middle East.
Isn't that crazy? Like, how far can you go like that?
I'm sure Brazil will let it too. I don't give a fuck.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Brazil.
That one eye.
You can't just fight here.
Yeah.
But it's like Khamzat. They say he has all these visa issues. That's why we haven't seen him so long. So my question is, so if Khamzat does fight for the title, does that mean the champ Strickland's going to have to come over here to defend his belt? Like that gets weird, right?
That gets super dicey.
But if you want to fight the best, you got to come to the Middle East.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
Well, if I was Strickland, I'd like Madison Square Garden or bust.
Yeah, me too. And I think Strickland would do that. Knowing Strickland, he's like, fuck off.
He might
Vegas or nothing, dude.
Make all the money.
Who is it? Who's handling the athletic commission stuff over there? Is that in-house?
It's probably the same guy who's handling the drug testing now. Probably rolls at ATT.
He's got a spinning back kick knockout.
Nurma.
You guys never said Oh, Said's a beast.
Said.
Oh, beast.
Really?
Yeah, he's very
super
good.
beast.
Very good.
You
very
mean a
good.
Dagestani with the last name Nurmagomedov?
But he's actually like a really elite striker.
Yeah, it's his striking. That's
He
his wrestling's not.
something?
His wrestling's not great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Is Nurmagomedov like Smith in the Middle East?
it's like Silva in Brazil.
Jones.
Yeah.
It sounds like
It's like
it's
Silva in Brazil.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a clan. Like it's a family of.
This guy's fun to watch, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What's he fight at? 35?
So what is going on with this drug-free sport thing?
I don't know, but I love it.
Is it drug-free sport and is their logo a wink?
Oh, you mean they have another commission?
Yeah, they got rid of USADA, but
Yeah.
USADA went dirty on them, man.
So
Oh, you saw it messed up when they went and did that statement without notifying Dana White. My first tweet was like, "Oh, USADA fucked
Wait,
up."
what they
Well,
did?
they really
Dana's gonna
fucked
go,
up. They
"Excuse me?"
said they were doing it for Conor McGregor, so they could get Conor McGregor and not have to test him.
What did they do?
That's what they insinuated.
Trying to make Dana look bad,
Which is not true because
true at all.
Conor McGregor entered into the USADA pool and supplied 2 tests so far. So they're wrong. What they said was wrong. He's not on anything. He's clean. They tested him.
I didn't know. What did
I mean-
USADA say? What did they say?
They said that the reason why the UFC is leaving this relationship with USADA was because they were trying to do something with Conor
like bow
McGregor.
down to Connor, and then they said it was a
Yeah.
money issue, which we know it's not.
His lawyer said he's the most tested fighter of all time in the UFC, as far as Conor McGregor is concerned. I mean,
Really?
I don't think that's true.
I don't know, but that's
especially
that's
now.
lawyer
He's had
said.
some time
Paulo
off.
Costa was the most tested.
Yeah, Paulo. I know Yuri's tested a ton.
All the dudes that look juicy, they go,
Yeah. But can we agree USADA's good for certain sports? When it comes to the UFC, it's been a disaster.
They're a bore?
It's been a
Well,
disaster.
Or-
The problem
way they
was
do
they were
it.
waking guys up at 6:30 in the morning on their fucking weigh-in day. They were doing crazy shit like that, trying to get samples day of the fight.
And you got to report 365 days a year, and you're a subcontractor. It doesn't make a lot of. It doesn't fit the business model of the UFC. All good. So now they have this guy from ATT who rolls with the boys, maybe a little acai himself, and he's like, yeah, he's good. And I'm like, I like that guy. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but there's a
Vitor
conflict of
Belfort.
interest potentially if
You think?
an ATT fighter.
2022, Yuri Prohaska was tested 64 times.
Wow, so he's the most.
That was just
wonder
last year. I mean, I don't know
why.
about all time.
So apparently, well, not apparently, it happened. USADA is now leaving the UFC. This is one of the biggest news in MMA right now. So in 2024, UFC is going to be taking on a new thing with interrogator for Saddam Hussein.
Really?
That guy, yeah, that
Oh my
guy.
God.
He's going to be the head of
Seems
that.
like this sucks if you're a fighter.
Yeah.
This guy interrogated
Saddam
Saddam.
Hussein.
Saddam.
And he's also like a
and then you got to
jiu-jitsu
sit
practitioner.
down with him.
He's like super into jiu-jitsu, so I guess he has like, at least he does the sport, He knows something about sport, but he's going to head the company.
Listen, shout out to Luke Thomas. He's been saying this forever. Well, USADA, the athletes and the sports that USADA is known for and came up using doesn't fit the the same requirements for UFC fighters. It was always a disruption. It was always trying to fit a square into a circle. It was just never a fit. There's so many issues. Jeff Nowitzki's great. He was the best thing to come out of USADA. The Golden Snitch was the best thing to come out of USADA. But USADA messed up, man. People already don't like. I don't know anybody who likes USADA. I don't know anybody. But then for them to come out and try to get in front of the story and go at Dana in the UFC, when I saw him, I went, ooh, it's about to get ugly for USADA. Because nobody's better at spinning the narrative and getting their message out than Dana White in the UFC. Now, USADA, you're about to learn today, dim the rules, buddy. Get used to this. So they'll just go off into the ether and, test other athletes. But, yeah, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, the rumors are a lot of this conflict started with the Conor McGregor debacle.
Yeah.
But I think UFC was just like, it's so much money. We're good, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I also think there's something to be said where, remember, now they're folded into one company with TKO, with WWE and UFC. So it's weird to have this strict USADA testing with UFC, and then WWE's the Wild West. Let's be honest. No, I know the hardcore do they test? Shut up. So they're doing the Wild West over here, strict over here, under the same banner. Let's just go ahead and fold these two in. All right. Now, I don't know how strict the testing is going to get. There's definitely still some testing. I don't think this is a free-for-all where guys can just take Deca and Winstrol and fight, But I do think for UFC fighters, there's no off-season. So there has to be some sort of standard in place where guys can take performance-enhancing drugs, whether it's HGH, whether it's some sort of peptides, to advance recovery. Because they're not NBA athletes with an off season where they can heal and recover. They're not the NFL where there's this off season. They're not NHL. They're not MLB. They're UFC fighters. There's no off season, and their bodies get absolutely destroyed. So look at how long a UFC fighter's career is. I think it used to be 1.5 years. So there's a reason why their careers are so short. So I think if it can aid in recovery, we need to do that. And I think UFC, as they've been on the forefront of so many things, can be the first major organization that can, kind of steamroll that and get guys peptides and HGH and hormones to enhance recovery. But again, it's a slippery road because then guys are going to continue to use that when they're in camp. Everyone's going to take advantage of the situation. But there should be something in place where they can do that.
I'm going to surprise you with something in a little bit. But, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Chin's all, I'm on steroids.
Dude, I was on TRT, and they took me off for like 3 months to see, because it's for fertility, right? They said, like, just in case,
If you don't have kids,
if you want to have kids, you just take it off for a while. My test levels are still like 900 or something without TRT, which is kind of crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.